North Korea's strategic play is reshaping the balance of power in an era defined by great power confrontation. At the center of this shift lies Pyongyang's tightening partnership with Russia, a careful reset with China, and the narrowing diplomatic options facing the United States. North Korea's recent arms transfers to Russia have deepened defense ties and opened new economic lifelines. At the same time, the regime has recalibrated its relationship with China, stabilizing the partnership without eliminating long-standing differences over denuclearization. This triangle remains one of convenience rather than trust, shaped by mutual suspicion and China's global economic calculus. In Washington, strategic options are shrinking. U.S. President Donald Trump has signaled openness to renewed summit diplomacy, while South Korea is exploring a nuclear freeze approach. A nuclear arms control deal between Washington and Pyongyang now appears increasingly plausible, even if it risks granting de facto legitimacy to North Korea's nuclear status. North Korea's relations with Russia were never entirely distant, but they remained limited during the first decade of Kim Jong-un's rule. In 2012, Russian President Vladimir Putin demonstrated goodwill toward the young Kim regime by writing off 90% of North Korea's Soviet-era debt. Moscow followed this gesture by pursuing infrastructure projects aimed at improving cooperation between North and South Korea. By 2014 and 2015, Pyongyang and Moscow enjoyed a brief diplomatic warming. High-level government exchanges took place, and investment agreements were signed to modernize North Korea's outdated transportation infrastructure. But the turning point was the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war in 2022. Before the war, North Korea faced deep internal and external setbacks. The country had just endured severe economic hardship after 3 years of self-imposed border closures due to COVID-19. The Russia-Ukraine conflict provided Kim Jong-un with a rare strategic opportunity. Pyongyang capitalized immediately. North Korea vetoed the UN resolution condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine and went further by formally recognizing Russia's occupation of Donetsk and Luhansk. Moscow, in turn, welcomed Pyongyang's loyalty and called for enhancing comprehensive and constructive bilateral relations. Military cooperation accelerated rapidly. With Russia facing ammunition shortages, North Korea emerged as a critical supplier, sending millions of artillery shells and other munitions to support the Russian war effort. Economic ties expanded alongside military support. Russia began providing food, fuel, energy, and hard currency for North Korean laborers. The partnership deepened even further in March 2024, when Russia vetoed the UN resolution that would have renewed the panel of experts responsible for monitoring sanctions on North Korea. This action significantly weakened the UN's ability to enforce those sanctions. The message was clear. North Korea's nuclear status was being indirectly legitimized on the global stage. For Kim Jong-un, this reduced the need to engage the United States, the very dialogue he had pursued aggressively in 2016 and 2017, hoping to secure sanctions relief. Meanwhile, North Korea's strategic partnership with Russia and the return of Donald Trump to the White House triggered a diplomatic opening with China in late 2025. In September, Chinese President Xi Jinping invited Kim Jong-un to attend China's Victory Day parade, granting him unusually high protocol status, second only to Vladimir Putin. This marked the beginning of a carefully managed reset between Beijing and Pyongyang. Xi and Kim held their first summit since 2019, and North Korean Foreign Minister Choi Son-hui traveled to China shortly afterwards. These events signaled a renewed political dialogue, but one still limited by China's broader strategic calculations. Any vision of a China-Russia-North Korea alliance remains constrained by distrust and diverging long-term interests. Beijing remains reluctant to fully align itself with two heavily sanctioned partners. Meanwhile, Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine and intensifying U.S.-China rivalry have left Washington with few practical tools for pressuring Pyongyang. Sanctions have lost much of their impact, and North Korea's alignment with Russia has reduced its economic isolation. Donald Trump's return to power has reinvigorated the prospect of renewed summit diplomacy. In January 2025, Trump publicly referred to North Korea as a nuclear power, signaling a notable shift in U.S. rhetoric. By late September, Kim Jong-un responded.